All right, let's break this down because I know a lot of people still hear NFT and their eyes just glaze over. Think of an NFT or a non-fungible token like a digital receipt. But it's a really, really special receipt that's stored on the blockchain, which is just a super secure public ledger. This receipt proves you, and only you, own a specific digital item. It could be anything: a piece of art, a ticket to an exclusive event, a special sword in a video game, or even a digital version of your house deed. The key here is non-fungible, which is a fancy way of saying it's one of a kind and can't be replaced with another identical item. A dollar bill is fungible. You can trade one for another and it's the same. Your driver's license is non-fungible, it's uniquely yours. So why does any of this even matter? It's all about proving ownership in a world that's becoming more and more digital. Before NFTs, you could right-click and save any image on the internet, and there was no way to tell who owned the original. It was a free-for-all. NFTs changed the game completely. They create a verifiable chain of custody that shows who created the item, who has owned it, and who owns it right now. This is a massive deal because it brings the concept of scarcity and authenticity, which we've always had in the physical world with things like fine art or collectibles, into the digital realm. It gives creators a way to monetize their work directly and gives buyers true ownership. Now, in 2025, this concept has moved way beyond just quirky pictures of apes or penguins. We're seeing NFTs being used for things with real, tangible utility. Think about your concert ticket. Instead of a flimsy piece of paper or a simple QR code that you use once and then it's gone, imagine an NFT ticket. After the show, that ticket could transform into a collectible that grants you access to exclusive behind-the-scenes footage from the concert, or maybe a discount on future merchandise. It becomes a living digital object that holds value long after the event is over. This is the evolution we're seeing. NFTs are becoming less about just flexing a cool picture and more about what that picture can for you. The technology behind it, the blockchain, is what makes it all work so seamlessly. Every transaction is recorded publicly and can't be altered or faked. It's like having a global notary public that works 24/7 for free, verifying everything. This transparency is what gives people confidence in the system. When you buy an NFT, you're not just buying a JPEG, you're buying a cryptographic proof of ownership that is recognized all over the world. This fundamental shift is why we're still talking about NFTs today. It solved a huge problem of the digital age: how to own something that doesn't physically exist. And that right there is the magic of it. If you were around for the absolute chaos of the 2021 and 2022 NFT boom, you know what I'm talking about. It was the Wild West. People were throwing millions of dollars at pixelated images, and honestly, most of it was just pure speculation and hype. It was a bubble, and like all bubbles, it popped. The crash was brutal, and a lot of people who jumped in without understanding what they were buying got completely wiped out. But that crash was actually a good thing. It was a necessary market correction that cleared out a ton of the low-effort cash grabs and forced the entire space to grow up. The market of 2025 is a completely different beast. It's smarter, it's more mature, and it's focused on one thing: utility. The biggest trend we're seeing now is the shift from NFTs as art to NFTs as keys. What I mean is that the value is no longer just in the visual appeal of the token. Instead, the NFT acts as a digital key that unlocks access, services, or benefits in the real or digital world. For example, owning an NFT from a specific brand might get you a lifetime discount on their products. A gaming NFT isn't just a cool-looking character skin. It's an asset you can use, level up, and even rent out to other players. This focus on utility means that projects have to offer real, sustainable value to survive. The days of launching a project with just some nice-looking art and a vague roadmap are long gone. Another major shift is the integration of NFTs with big established brands and industries. We're not just talking about a few experimental projects anymore. Major players in gaming, fashion, music, and even real estate are now using NFTs as a core part of their business strategy. Gaming companies are building entire economies around player-owned assets. Musicians are releasing albums as NFTs that give fans a share of the streaming royalties. We're even seeing the very beginning of tokenized real estate, where you can own a fractional share of a physical property represented by an NFT. This corporate adoption has brought a new level of legitimacy and stability to the market that was missing during the initial hype phase. Finally, the technology itself has gotten so much better and easier to use. Remember the days of paying hundreds of dollars in gas fees just to buy a single NFT? For the most part, those days are over thanks to new blockchains and Layer 2 solutions that have made transactions incredibly cheap and fast. The user experience has also improved dramatically. Wallets are more secure and user-friendly, and marketplaces are offering better tools for discovery and analysis. This has lowered the barrier to entry, making it easier for regular people to get involved without needing a computer science degree. The market is less of a niche hobby for crypto fanatics and more of an accessible mainstream investment class. When you're looking to invest, it's important to know that not all NFTs are created equal. They come in several different categories, each with its own purpose and potential. The first and most famous category is digital art and collectibles. These are the OG NFTs, like the CryptoPunks or Bored Ape Yacht Club projects that kicked everything off. In 2025, think of these like the fine art of the digital world. Their value comes from the artist's reputation, the historical significance of the project, the aesthetics, and the strength of the community built around them. An example today might be a piece from a renowned digital artist like Rekt Anadol, or a new culturally relevant PFP, or profile picture project that has captured the public's imagination. Next up, we have gaming NFTs. This is one of the fastest growing and most exciting areas, in my opinion. These aren't just pictures, they are functional items within a video game. This could be anything from a unique character, a powerful weapon, a piece of virtual land, or a cool-looking outfit for your avatar. The key here is that you, the player, truly own these assets. You can use them in the game, and in many cases you can sell them to other players on an open marketplace for real money. A great example would be owning a plot of land in a metaverse game like Otherside, or a rare starship in a space exploration game like Star Atlas. The value is tied directly to its usefulness and rarity within the game's ecosystem. Then there's the category of utility NFTs. This is a broad category that basically covers any NFT whose primary purpose is to grant you access or a specific privilege. Think of it like a digital membership card. This could be an NFT that gives you lifetime access to a software tool, a subscription to a newsletter, or entry into an exclusive Discord community with expert investors. For example, a project like VFriends, created by Gary Vaynerchuk, gives holders access to his exclusive conference. The value isn't in the cartoon animal on the token, it's in the real-world access and networking opportunities that it unlocks for the owner. Finally, we have the emerging and very powerful category of real-world asset NFTs. This is where the digital world meets the physical world in a legally binding way. These NFTs represent ownership of tangible assets, like real estate, luxury watches, fine wine, or even a share in a company. The NFT acts as a digital title or deed, making it incredibly easy to transfer ownership of these high-value items securely and efficiently. For instance, you could buy an NFT that represents a 1% stake in a rental property in Miami, entitling you to 1% of the monthly rental income. This area is still new and has some regulatory hurdles, but it has the potential to completely revolutionize how we think about owning and trading valuable physical goods. Okay, let's get serious for a minute. While the potential of NFTs is huge, the risks are just as big, if not bigger. You absolutely cannot go into this space with your eyes closed, or you will lose your money. The number one risk is extreme price volatility. The NFT market can swing wildly, even more so than cryptocurrencies. A project that's worth thousands of dollars one week could be worth practically nothing the next. This isn't like the stock market. There are no circuit breakers. Hype, celebrity endorsements, or changes in community sentiment can cause massive price crashes overnight. You have to be prepared for the possibility that the value of your investment could go to zero, because for many projects, it will. The second major risk is scams and security threats. Because this space is still new and relatively unregulated, it's a paradise for scammers. You have rug pulls, where the anonymous creators of a project hype it up, sell all the NFTs, and then disappear with the money, abandoning the project entirely. You also have phishing scams where fake websites or malicious links trick you into connecting your crypto wallet, allowing thieves to drain all of your assets in seconds. Security is your personal responsibility. You need to use a hardware wallet for any significant assets, be skeptical of everything, and never ever share your private keys or seed phrase with anyone for any reason. Seriously, don't do it. Another risk that people don't talk about enough is illiquidity. This means that even if your NFT is technically valuable, you might not be able to sell it when you want to. Unlike stocks or Bitcoin, which you can sell almost instantly, selling an NFT requires finding a specific buyer who wants your specific item at your desired price. If you own an NFT from a collection that has lost its hype, you might have to slash the price dramatically to find a buyer. Or you might not be able to sell it at all. It could just sit in your wallet collecting digital dust. You can't just click sell and get your cash. You are at the mercy of market demand for that one unique item. Finally, you have to consider technological and regulatory risks. The technology is still evolving. What happens if the blockchain your NFT is built on becomes obsolete or has a major security flaw? What if the company hosting the image file for your NFT goes out of business? These are real technical risks. And then there's the government. Regulators around the world are still trying to figure out how to classify and tax NFTs. New rules could be introduced at any time that might change the market dynamics, add new tax burdens, or even restrict what you can do with your assets. This uncertainty is a risk that hangs over the entire industry and is completely out of your control. So how do you navigate this minefield and find the projects that actually have a shot at succeeding? It's not about luck, it's about doing your homework. I have a simple checklist I run through before I even think about spending a single dollar on an NFT. First and foremost, investigate the team. Are the founders public and do they have a proven track record? Anonymous teams are a huge red flag. A team that's doxed, meaning their real identities are known, has their reputation on the line, which makes them far less likely to pull a fast one. Look them up on LinkedIn and Twitter. See what they've built before. A strong, experienced team is the foundation of any good project. Second, you need to ask, what is the utility? What does this NFT actually do? As we discussed, the days of art for art's sake being enough are mostly over. Does it grant you access to a community, a service, a game, or future rewards? The utility needs to be clear, compelling, and sustainable. A vague promise of future utility isn't good enough. Look for projects that already have a working product or a very clear, believable plan for what the NFT will provide to its holders. If the only value is the hope that someone else will buy it from you for more money later, that's not a utility. That's just speculation. Third, analyze the community. A strong, active, and genuinely engaged community is one of the biggest indicators of a project's long-term health. Don't just look at the number of followers on Twitter or members on Discord. Go into their Discord server and lurk for a while. Are people having real conversations, or is it just a bunch of bots and people spamming when moon? A healthy community believes in the project's vision, helps new members, and contributes to the ecosystem. A toxic or disengaged community is a sign that the project is likely to fail once the initial hype dies down. The community is who will carry the project through the tough times. Fourth on the checklist is the roadmap. The roadmap is the project's plan for the future. It should outline the team's goals and when they expect to achieve them. However, don't just take it at face value. A good roadmap is specific, realistic, and ambitious, but achievable. A bad roadmap is full of vague promises like metaverse integration or launch merchandise without any concrete details. More importantly, check if the team has a history of actually delivering on their past promises. Have they hit their previous roadmap goals on time? A team that consistently delivers is a team you can trust. A team that constantly pushes back deadlines is a major red flag. If you've made it this far and you're still interested, that's great. But please, don't just rush out and buy the first shiny thing you see. You need a strategy. Here is a simple, safe approach for getting started. The first and most important step is to learn before you leap. Spend at least a month just absorbing information. Follow smart people in the space on Twitter, listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos, like the ones on my channel, of course, and read project white papers. Join Discord communities and just listen. Your goal isn't to find a project to buy yet. Your goal is to understand the language, the culture, and the common mistakes people make. Education is the cheapest insurance you can buy in this space. Once you feel like you have a decent grasp of the basics, it's time for step 2. Start small and use money you can afford to lose. I mean this literally. Your first NFT purchase should be with an amount of money that, if it went to zero tomorrow, would not affect your life in any meaningful way. Think of it as the price of your education. This will allow you to go through the process of setting up a wallet, buying some crypto, and making a transaction on a marketplace without the stress of risking your rent money. This hands-on experience is invaluable, and making your first purchase a small one takes the pressure off. Step 3 is to diversify your holdings, but maybe not in the way you think. I'm not saying to go out and buy 20 different NFTs right away. I mean that your NFT investments should only be a very, very small part of your overall investment portfolio. If you have stocks, real estate, and index funds, maybe you allocate 1 to 2% of your total portfolio to high-risk assets like crypto and NFTs. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, and definitely don't make the NFT basket your only one. This protects you from the wild volatility of the NFT market and ensures that even if your entire NFT portfolio fails, your financial future is still secure. Finally, step 4 is to think long-term and focus on value. Don't try to flip NFTs for a quick profit. That's a game best left to full-time traders with sophisticated tools, and even they lose often. Instead, look for projects that you believe have a real chance of being relevant and valuable in 3 to 5 years. This means focusing on the fundamentals we talked about: a strong team, clear utility, and an engaged community. If you invest in projects you genuinely believe in and are prepared to hold them through market cycles, you'll be far less likely to panic sell at a loss and far more likely to see real returns over the long run. Be patient, be informed, and please, be careful.